It's a final time here at the Racecourse grounds in Colombo in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka taking on Kazakhstan in the Asia Rugby Men's Division 1 Championship. After 2 days of grueling rugby, we are here at the grand final. Sri Lanka come here following a win against India, while Kazakhstan make their way following a win against Qatar. Conditions out here are sublime as the weather gods have been kind to us today, and we are no doubt in for a sublime game of rugby. I've got Shanaka alongside me in the commentary box. Shanaka, what do you expect from this game?
Expecting an absolute humding of a match, Romario. Thank you, and welcome to everyone joining us on thepapare.com and wherever else you are in the world, whether you're in Almaty, wherever in Kazakhstan you might be, we welcome you on board to watch this game, the final of the Asia Rugby Championship in the men's Division 1 segment, and that's the Sri Lanka flag and the Sri Lanka rugby flag, both countries who have done so well to make sure that this four-nation tournament has gone off brilliantly. And we saw India with a superlative performance earlier on in the evening as well. They were 26-6 down early on in that game, but came back and lost it just 34 points to 25, knocking up the door of the higher divisions and showing the world that this 1.2 billion person giant is just something that's waiting to be awoken. So this game is going to be no less. I think Kazakhstan are going to be a different beast, Abdullah and Romario, in the cool of the evening. It's still a bit humid, still a bit muggy. We might expect some rain later on in the evening as well, but the 36-degree temperature is something that's going to be a factor for the Kazakhstanis, and the wind speed at 16 kilometers rather, that's going to be something that the teams will have to be mindful of when they're picking sides.
Yeah, that's right, Shanaka. See the crowd slowly but surely building up. Wonderful atmosphere here at the racecourse. So winner takes all match from this point onwards. Sri Lanka notching up confidence boosting 45 points to 10, but they'll need to up their performance a couple of percentage points if they are to get the better of this very physical Kazakhstan outfit. You can see the Sri Lankan coaching staff and the players just completing their warm-ups, and we're going into the dressing room to change, and we'll go in for a short break. And on the other side, we'll meet you with the kickoff.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමය තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
දැන් ඩීප්ටෙක් සෝලා වෙතින් වගා බිමට අවශ්‍ය සූර්ය ජල පොම්ප පද්ධති සහ නිවසට අවශ්‍ය ඔන් ග්‍රිඩ් සූර්ය බල පද්ධති රැසක් ඩීප්ටෙක් වෙතින්. වැඩි විස්තර සඳහා අමතන්න 077 002 77 03.
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
සූර්ය ශක්තියෙන් නොමිලේ වගා බිමට අවශ්‍ය ජල සැපයුම ලබා ගන්න. දැන්ම ඩීප්ටෙක් සෝලා වෝටර් පම්පින් සිස්ටම් එකකට මාරු වෙන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමය තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Studies, jobs, they Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමේ තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමේ තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Very good evening and welcome back to the Racecourse International Stadium as we bring you live action from the Asia Rugby Championship 2024. The Asian Rugby Men's Division 1 final is up for grabs, and that will be between Kazakhstan and Sri Lanka, the host team. The hosts have performed brilliantly to win 45-10 against their neighbours India and made it into the final. And Kazakhstan had a real humdinger match between themselves and Qatar. They won by just one solitary conversion, 33 points to 31. They beat Qatar to make it through to the final. And in the losers consolation final just a little while earlier today, we saw Qatar running out winners against a plucky Indian team, 34 points to 25 rather. And that was a really entertaining game towards the end of it. But as Romario said in the introduction, it is a sublime evening. The breeze is blowing and there is a bit of a humid conditions, but still the ground looks absolutely picturesque. The crowds are flowing in, and I think we are going to be in for a match that makes Sri Lanka proud. And of course the Kazakhstanis will want to make sure this is an age-old rivalry, Abdullah Yusuf, going into this match. Kazakhstan and Sri Lanka have played some very tense battles together, both here and in Kazakhstan and other parts of Asia. This is going to be no different.
Absolutely. As you can see, both teams making their presence onto the ground. Yes, the Kazakhstan will want to try and draw the Sri Lankan team into a physical battle. Sri Lankans probably have their game plan laid out pretty clearly by their coaching staff. Will want to play the game at pace, play the game more often in the wider channels, not getting too many physical confrontations. And they've just got to start the match with a certain pace, isn't it? And just make that early inroads into the Kazakhstan defense, not let the Kazakhstan get on top of them. Because if they do get into a physical battle, it's going to be a long day for the Sri Lankans.
Romario De Silva also joining us in the commentary box. It's a couple of changes for both teams. We'll talk about those when the team cards come up. And now for the national anthems, both very long national anthems as well. And these teams are going to be out here for a while, but it promises to be a really an encounter that leaves nothing on the park. Everybody's going to walk off absolutely dog-tired, and it's going to be a classic battle. That's the feeling I get today.
Indeed, Shanaka, classic is the correct word as we start the national anthems.
Altın gün aslanı, altın den davası, yerlikten astana, yenime karşı, yeşilgin yerdigin dalgama şahtı boy, namusun bermegen kasadan ahtı boy.
Thank you. Please stay standing for the national anthem of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we have the official team introductions. I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Land, Sports and Youth Affairs, Honorable Harin Fernando. We would like to have the Vice President of Asia Rugby, Mr. Fauzi Khawaja. The President of Sri Lanka Rugby, Group Captain Nalin De Silva. Vice President of Sri Lankan Rugby, Rear Admiral Udaya Hettiarachchi. The Honorary Secretary of Sri Lankan Rugby, SSP Nizam Jamaldeen. And also representing our sponsors, the Head of Marketing, First Capital Holdings PSC, Mr. Randinith Madanayaka, and the General Manager of Nippon Paints, Mr. Nimanta Singha, to please join us for the team introductions and of course the match officials.
The dignitaries being introduced to the home team first. That's of course Group Captain Nalin De Silva on the extreme right of your screen, the President of Sri Lanka Rugby. He is led by the Honourable Minister of Sport, Minister Harin Fernando. That's him meeting the Kazakhstan team. This Kazakhstan team, no doubt, is going to want to draw Sri Lanka into a slugfest to make sure that there's lots of stops in this game, and they get to use their big forwards to try and grind down the faster, nippier Sri Lankan players, and Sri Lanka is going to want to play that exactly the opposite. So it's going to be a clash of philosophies as well. And here's the Kazakhstan team. Gadabashov, Imam, Litvinov, Maximenko, Timoshin, Ivanov, Kromov comes into the side, and that's one change in the forward pack. Magomedov is the blistering captain from number 8. Lukmanov, Akimbekov, Cherbakov, Vasilov, Laima and Sitov comes into the side in place of Petukov, and Nazibayev is retaining his place at fullback.
For Sri Lanka, it will be Janithu Fernando, Pulasi Dasanak and Charit Silva in the front rows, Sohiru Anthony and Ravin De Silva and all CR second row with Adisha Virutunga, Tarandu Chaturanga and Lasindu Karunatilaka in number 8. Heshan Jansen will partner with Tenuka Nanakara at the halfback combination, while Tarinda Ratwat and Akash Madhusanka will be in the centres with Sachit Silva, Dinal Ekanayaka and Zubair Dore rounding off the run-on 15 for Sri Lanka.
Head coach of the Sri Lankan team, of course, would have been putting his charges through their paces over the last 4 days. This is James Fairbairn, who will be taking charge of this game, assisted by JP Clements and Seo Insu, who was also standing in the semi-final where Sri Lanka beat India. Here's Akimbekov to kick off this final, and Sri Lanka in their green jerseys once again have had a problem with restarts. This was an area that we talked about against India that Sri Lanka will have to improve, and it looks like it's something that they haven't been able to address.
Yes, absolute lack of communication there. As a result, the Kazakhstan scrum is going to have the first chance to impose their dominance in this area of the game. It's absolutely critical that Sri Lanka manage this scrum and this next couple of phases without conceding too much damage on the scoreboard.
A very young Sri Lankan front row coming up against the experience of Litvinov, Imam and Gadabashev. Huge weight advantage for the Kazakhs, but the Sri Lankan team have done well. Megamadov comes off the back as we expected he would.
Well done, good work.
But he goes laterally, and Sri Lanka managed to set their defensive line. Here's Nisov, who scored the last try in the final game against Qatar. Laima over the top, and there was a little bit of an intervention by Zubair Dore there, but whether it was legal is something that the referee will confer. James Fairbairn is going to have a chat.
Good line speed by Sri Lanka, and some good tackles coming in and hitting the men and pushing them behind. So that's good to see from Sri Lanka early on. They're making a statement.
There was a massive tackle coming through on Akimbekov, the experienced Daulat Akimbekov at number 10. He's played Sri Lanka a couple of times before as well, and they know how dangerous he is, and they want to cut him down early. So Sri Lanka showing their intent with their line speed, and a pressure throw for Pulasi Dasanayake. He's only his second game in Sri Lanka colours. And Adisha Veeratunga takes it easily in front. Here's Heshan Jansen. Tenuka Naneyakkara makes a good connection this time. Nasibayev doesn't let the ball go. And the first mistake by the experienced fullback. So Adisha Veeratunga given a little bit of respite, Romario, by the absence of Ol Nasin, who started at number 7 for Kazakhstan in the last game and was really a thorn in the side of the Qatari team at the number 2 jumping position. But he's not on the team card today, probably an injury because he's out of the 23. So Adisha Veeratunga is going to have his job made a little easier today.
Indeed, Shanaka, he was really tall and in the line out against Qatar, and it's good to see Adisha making a good collection in the first line out and showing his intent. And also it's great to see Tarandu Chaturanga coming in after the tackle and jackaling the ball.
There's a good ball for Sri Lanka. First touch for Ratwata. Nice little switch back inside to Lashindu Vishan Karunatilaka. Gadabashov.
Well done.
Really physical tackle on Karunatilaka. Here's Naneyakkara handling the ball a little bit more already in this game. And his pass to Sohiru Anthony is not one that the captain will be very happy with.
Yeah, fine, we'll play that.
And Tenuka Naneyakkara had a shaky start to the last game where he scuffed a kick.
Let's have you on the line.
And this time he
on the line.
scuffed a pass, but he got the kick that he had well onto his boot.
They're on the line.
Adisha Veeratunga contests, but it's nicely taken at the front for Kazakhstan. It's a little wraparound move. Kazakhs looking to run it as Hill. Megamadov running straight into Sachit Silva, still going the big
now. Well done.
Kazakh captain. Looking to play at pace. Here's Imam. Good tackle on him by his opposite number, Pulasi Dasanayaka. Lovely third phase. Nice little show of the ball. And Sitov just gives the ball back into Ravin De Silva.
No.
And Sri Lanka now have counter-attack ball. 5 minutes in that this game has started at a frantic pace. Tarindra Ratwata opting to kick. Here's Megamadov in the tram lines. Sachit Silva with a brave tackle on the big number 8. Gadabashov.
Tackle away now. Well done.
Here's Litvinov, the first try scorer of the tournament. Lukmanov looks like he might have lost that, but it's a nice angle hit by the Kazakh second receiver. Good communication from James Fairbairn there. Lukmanov with a little kick through. Nobody at home for Sri Lanka, but Sachit Silva does well to get back. Now he needs a little bit of support. Heshan Jansen is there, but he's no match for the counter-rucking Kazakh team, and Litvinov is the first man there, and that was a huge passage of play, a long passage of play, and if this is anything to go by, this game is going to leave us all breathless.
Yes, the first 5 minutes just ran right past us because the pace at which this game has started has been pretty intense. Ball's been put into touch, just a 5-meter line out. Last time the Kazakhs getting a penalty, opted for the scrum, this time going to touch. It's interesting that they're foregoing the 3 points, isn't it? You'd expect the final of this nature, points on the board will be crucial. But probably believe that they want to impose their dominance on the Sri Lankan 8 in the early part of this game.
Hindsight is a beautiful thing, but I think Sachit Silva ideally should have just got that away to Tarindra Ratwata because he was asking for it and should have ideally cleared their lines.
Closing the line, closing the gap, I warned you, closing the
And
gap.
the referee straight away says, I warned you, closing the gap, and a penalty to relieve the pressure for Sri Lanka.
Well, they will breathe a sigh of relief there as they started nervously even against India, this young Sri Lankan team, many of them playing just their second match in the Tuskers colours. This man included, Ratwata, and many of the Kazakhstan forward pack, especially plenty of experience, especially at 9, 10 and 15. So through the spine of the team, they've got quite a bit of experience, and you can see that. Here's Litvinov going to the back. to lift Nikita Ivanov in the number 6 jumper, but they closed the line. They closed the gaps rather, and referee Fairbairn laying down the law early on. Nicely taken that time by Ravin De Silva at number 6. Sri Lanka looking to drive that maul, but it's not going to be easy against a much bigger forward pack. Looking to go wide early. Here's Zubair Dore. Gives it to Dina Lekanaik, who steps in, looks for the little grubber kick, but it ricochets off the shins of the Kazakh defense. Now they've turned it over.
All good for me.
Kicked through by Dore.
Okay, Alexi, please.
Here's a big Gadabashov.
Stay 8, stay. Well done.
Lukmankov comes back to the short side. Sitov with a lovely bump, and Sri Lanka are going to need to do better than those little shoulder rubs to stop this Kazakhstan team. Now they've got some space. Janidu Fernando goes long. Here's the space for Sachin Silva. Can he get the ball away? He can. It hasn't gone forward. Adam Gadabashov, referee Fairbairn, playing plenty of advantage here, keeping this game alive. Lukmanov. Sri Lanka closed down the space quickly.
Yes!
Here it is for the experienced number 9 of this Kazakhstan team. Been playing in Kazakh colours for 12 years, but he can't prevent the penalty, as Adisha Veeratunga will show that this young team is not here to be bullied.
Brilliant work by Adisha at that breakdown. Sri Lanka pretty much under the pump, but got himself in a very good position and win the penalty for his team.
You have the penalty.
Referee just calming things down between both teams.
Penalty's your way. You need to calm down.
Understand a lot of pent-up energy, both these teams. Sri Lanka just need to get into the Kazakhstan half. They've been spending far too much time in their own half in this first 9 minutes. Ratwata finds a good touch. It's a really good touch finder by Tarinder.
Great intent shown there by Adisha Veeratunga. You can see on this replay, as the tackle was made, the clear release was shown and he was on the ball straight away. And after that, he shows that Sri Lanka isn't here to be bullied.
Excellent technique by the Sia flank, and Coach Martis will be happy to be in the right area in the field.
All good, disruption's fine.
But that time,
Play on.
the line out is
Yes, nine.
not easily won. I think Kazakhstan will know that Adisha Veeratunga is the go-to man. That ball almost charged down, but Dore has to come back and think about using Sachin Silva, but no, they won't, as the forwards are well in front of the kicker. So referee has said stop. You could hear him perhaps wherever you are in the world screaming for the whites to stop, but they didn't, and Heshan Jansen looks to take it quickly, putting some pace into the game. Dore will chase, Dore will score. Sri Lanka scores the first try of the Asian Rugby Championship Division 1 final. Good thinking from these youngsters. Heshan Jansen took it quickly, passed to his Kandy teammate, and grubbered through for this young Sia fullback, making his debut in the last match to score his first try in Sri Lanka colours.
Lovely bit of thinking there by the Sri Lankan players. They took the quick tap, and Tarinder Ratwat decided that there was no going through them, but a grubber kick will. And Zubair Dore just waited till the ball sat down on the floor and just dotted it down for Sri Lanka.
So I think it's a score that Sri Lanka desperately needed. Will probably just calm their nerves down, isn't it? It was a very nervy first few minutes by the Sri Lankans, but this score hopefully will just calm those nerves down. It's just some brilliant thinking by Jansen. I'm sure the Kazakhstan team would have thought that Sri Lanka will go for the post, but the quick tap took them by surprise, and some wonderful bit of creativity by Tarinder to chip ahead when he saw the entire Kazakhstan defense up. The conversion, well struck by Tarinder, but just goes across the uprights. Nonetheless, Sri Lanka will be up 5 points to nil. So we have a look at the replay once again.
Here's Jansen. He asks the referee about the mark, takes it quickly. Ratwata looks up, sees acres of space behind the first line of defense. And Dore doesn't break stride. He communicates well with his fly half. And that's a brilliant bit of work from everyone involved.
I can't hear anything.
And you could see a little while earlier, Romario, Tarinder Ratwata, when they won that penalty, I'm not a lip reader, but it was pretty clear what he was saying. He was just saying, calm down, calm down, calm down, while the referee was talking to Adisha Viratunga, and that's just all they needed to do to get that score.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. We know that there'll be plenty of nerves in this game, but they also need to calm down and trust the process. And that's exactly what they did there.
Sorry, chaps.
The game plan is set that they are going to run, and they stuck to it on that occasion as they got the penalty, put the little bit of a grubber in behind, and then pace did the trick for Sri Lanka.
Abdullah, you've coached a lot at club level, and how easy is it to tell players to play at a quick pace but still remain calm?
So we'll get back to that. Kazakhstan kick-off, this time safely collected by Nanayankara, who finds touch. Yes, it's something I'm sure they would have rehearsed in the lead up to this game, probably in the lead up to this tournament as well. Going back to that interview with which Romario did with coach Sanath Martis, he was intent on playing the game at pace, but just sometimes nerves can get in the way at the initial start. That's why this scoring first for Sri Lanka is absolutely crucial, and hope they'll kick off from now.
Good. Backwards.
That's overthrown by Imam, who was so good previously. Sachit Silva putting a few steps in. The crowd screaming for a high tackle, but the referee says it's fine. Charit Silva finds himself on the blind side. And here it is for Tenuka Nanayakkara. Again, they're looking for the kick. And that's a brilliant touch finder from Tarinder Ratwata once again. He wanted someone to run onto it. The Sri Lanka women's team
I was shouting at you.
looking on. Dina Lekanayaka made a good chase, but that was always intended for the touchline.
Yeah, that's right. This is what Sri Lanka want to do. They want to spread the game out wide. They don't want to get into close collisions. Make the forwards run end to end. Nice half break by the new entrant into the team, Charit Silva. Bit of a high shot there, lucky to get away with it. But again, Johnson very quick off the base. And then a quick recycle ball, and went right across the field.
Imam, it's one at the front for Kazakhstan, and looks like they're going to try and run it from inside. Here's the dangerous Vasilov. He's a big man at number 12. Kazakhstan still trying to run.
Let go, you're off your feet, let go. Off your feet.
Madhushankar does well. Akash, that is. Coming straight through was Tarinder Ratwata. Can't take the 9 is the call, but Ratwata saying that he thought perhaps the 9 had picked the ball up, but referee Fairborn was right on the spot and says nothing doing.
Shanak, I think that's usually a penalty that doesn't go the way in Sri Lanka of the attackers, but these are the little technical things they'll have to adapt if they are to play in this game.
Yeah, that's right. Sri Lanka did concede that penalty, but wouldn't be too worried about that. Intent does matter. Again, Tarinder, good tackle. And Sri Lanka do want to compete at that breakdown. It was the two centres who applied the pressure at that breakdown. Tarinder a bit perplexed by that decision.
All okay.
Ivanov takes it at the back, and Sri Lanka choose not to contest the tail of the line out. Here's Vasilov again.
Well done. Use Alex.
Lukmanov.
He's on side fine.
And that's a little kick through, but it's not a good one from Daulat Akimbekov. They look like they're trying to not give him any space.
Yeah, that's right, and I think he was forced into making that kick because of some good defensive pressure applied by the Sri Lankans. They kept their alignment, didn't rush, and the Kazakhstan fly half had no option but to kick the ball ahead. As we have a look at that once again, Sri Lanka just keeping their alignment intact in defense, shutting out all options that the Kazakh fly half had in his...
9.
Ayat Imam in that shot there. Here's the try scorer from the last game, Sharbakov. And Sri Lanka go to the base and almost get that ball, but Ravin De Silva, he will be happy that somebody's picked it up behind him. Here it is for Pulassi Dasanayaka, who's smashed to the floor in a heavy tackle.
Got it over for the knock.
Short ball to Akash Madhushankar.
Lost.
Sri Lanka do well to retain that ball, and it's another high shot. Ahiyat Imam will be the man that's spoken to.
Easy. You okay? You okay?
Yes, it was immediately blown up by the referees. It happened right in front of him. Probably he'll just get a warning this time. Referee is always very strict when it comes to the high shots.
Okay, so it's a high tackle. It's direct head contact. So entry point is red, but there was a late dip, so I'm going to mitigate to yellow for 2 white. Agree? Happy with yellow, JP? Yeah. 2. Off you go.
Well. Referee James Fairbairn, very, very strict there. You heard him clearly on your screens. It starts at red, but there was a late dip, so I'm mitigating to yellow. And Ahiyat Imam will spend 10 minutes in the bin. And perhaps he's lucky not to spend a little longer, and Kazakhstan will expect their hooker back in 10 minutes, and Sri Lanka will have to make the most of it in between.
I'm sure Sri Lanka will be looking to apply maximum pressure in this 10 minutes because they are numerically at an advantage, and now it's with the onus is on Sri Lanka.
You have you on the line. Let's have you on the line.
So this becomes a very important line out. You can watch that high tackle here. Here's Ravin De Silva. Imam moves out, and you can see it's a bit of a clothesline tackle. Referee was right on the spot, but Ravin did dip into it.
That's once. Through the line out over.
Pulassi Dasanayaka has to go on his own, but his forwards are quick to support him. Latch and go is the call from Lasinda Vishan and Charit Silva. Heshan Jansen has it now. Here's Charit Silva still going. Jansen with nice quick ball. Nanayakkara, Ratwat. It's behind the back. That's lovely hands from Sachit Silva. And into the field cuts Dinaleka Nayaka. Just couldn't finish it off there.
Tackler away, well done.
Jansen thinks about blind but goes open. Ravin De Silva now. He's isolated, needs some help. Sachit Silva gets there. Jansen. Soiru Anthony looks for the numbers. Here's Zubair Dore popping up, and that's the assist pass for his CR teammate Adisha Veeratunga. And the big Sri Lankan flanker is rewarded for what has been a fantastic season in domestic rugby with an international try.
That's vintage rugby for you. Brilliant stuff by Sri Lanka, going end to end, spreading the Kazakhstan defense, finding gaps out wide. This is the way Sri Lanka will want to approach that game, and you just sense, Shanika, that first score was absolutely crucial to just calm the nerves. Again, Kazakhstan defense pretty narrow, and Sri Lanka identifying the gaps out wide, and that was brilliantly done by Zubair. Just running that wonderful line to draw two defenders towards him before offloading to his clubmate to put the finishing touches. So Sri Lanka, as we approach the 20th minute, leading 10 points to nil.
In and out from Murshid Zubair, and that's what drew the last two men, and he just had to drop it off to Adisha as he dots down for Sri Lanka. Great bit of play there from side to side, exactly what the coaching staff would have been wanting from them.
And in the background there we saw Ahiyat Imam putting his head in his hands as Ratpatha lines up this conversion. Ooh, that's two misses from Ratpatha, not something that you're used to seeing. The first one, of course, was a very difficult one. This was something that might be a regulation for someone of his quality, but perhaps the referee just telling him that it's 30 seconds left rushed him a little. Here's the angle. Nice little swerve of the hips and a delayed pass to Veeratunga. And what you generally don't see is that the man who passed the ball has got smashed in the background, but that's what it takes. Here's Daulat Akimbekov to restart for Kazakhstan. It's a good hanging kick, nicely taken that time by Chaturanga De Silva. Leaves it, picks it up and goes again. Here's Heshan Jansen. Sri Lanka playing with much more confidence now. Jansen.
Take it back.
Lovely little cross kick for Dinale Kanayaka. It falls straight into the breadbasket. Just can't get it away. Dore can now. Steps back infield. Hands it off to Akash Madhushankar. Madhushankar tries to put it on the boot. But just not enough room for him to play with there. Have to wonder what would have happened if Dinale Kanayaka could have gotten that ball infield. Here's Gadabashov with Kazakhstan's ball for the first time in a long time. Lukmanov.
No advantage coming. It's a knock on as he attempted to gather.
So I really like the way Tharinda is taking control of the game, isn't it? He's being the playmaker from that second receiver position.
Yeah.
A little bit of an experienced fly half in Nanakar inside him, but Tharinda has taken the onus upon him to control the game, how Sri Lanka plays. He's showing all his class. That was a wonderful punt right into Ekanayaka's hand.
White five substitution.
And this is what Sri Lanka need to do, just spread the game out wide as much as possible, make the forwards move end to end, and so far the game plan has been on point.
You can see Kazakhstan compelled into making a substitution because their hooker is out. So number 5 of Kazakhstan, Timoshin, goes out and the number 16 replaces him.
Yes, it's Alexander Belashov that comes on. He would have expected to come on much later in the game. But it seems that the coaching staff and the players, Abdullah, they've decided that you're not going to go through this Kazakhstan team, so we're going to go around or over them. And it's proved a good tactic for Sri Lanka so far. Lukmanov into the 7-man scrum. It's not a great pass to Lukmanov. And they managed to find touch, so Sri Lanka will go all the way back to the 22 because that ball was carried back. Lukmanov and Akimbakov, this age-old partnership, has not combined too well so far today.
Yes, you don't see that error too often from the Kazakh backline. However, the good pressure from Sri Lanka proved to be too much for the Kazakh center, as he had to thump the ball and he thumped it out full, and that's why Sri Lanka are receiving the line out on the Kazakh 22.
Great to see the stands are filling up. Crowds are still pouring in. A quarter of the way through this game as Adisha Veeratunga wins the ball at the front. Litvinov gets in to make a real nuisance of himself. Get out of the way for Litvinov is the call, but Sri Lanka is still going. And Litvinov changed his mind, came in at the side. And Heshan Jansen, the smallest man on the pitch by some distance, has chosen to disagree with Litvinov and his teammates.
Okay, time's off. We're going to get.
Yes, so it's a good thing some of his forwards are around him. Because you know what would have happened, but Sri Lanka showing some good intent. Trying to take the Kazakhstan at their own game, applying a bit of pressure.
The penalty is against your number 3 for entry at the mall, okay? It's too many penalties now. Your discipline needs to improve, okay? Have a word, please. The penalty was going your way. Your number 9 then deliberately pushed him. I warned you over there. I'm reversing the penalty, okay? No. It's your penalty. It's your penalty.
You can clearly see the referee not happy with the indiscipline shown there by the Sri Lankan, as he reverses the penalty the favor of Kazakhstan, because Heshan Jansen decided to take matters into his own hands.
Well, it's fair enough from James Fairbairn. Romario, he has told the Sri Lankan team before, when Adisha Veeratunga came through with that little push, he warned Soheru Anthony and his team, and you can see he's not standing for any second mistakes. So this is where Sri Lanka have to make sure that they don't allow this lead to slip away by doing anything ill-disciplined. But again, it doesn't look like it's Daulat Akimbakov's day. Watch Litvinov, that's the bald head of Litvinov coming through the left side there of the mall. And you can see how he came through the side. And the referee asked him to get away, but somehow he didn't obey. Here's Akimbakov caught in possession once again. It hasn't been quality ball for him today. Lukmanov
Chance is good.
Beautiful charge down from Tenukanana Karan. He will dot down. It's his third try in this tournament. He's had a lot of the pressure taken off him by the brilliant Tarinder Ratwatha, but he's used that decoy of Ratwatha to score a bunch of tries and to make things happen from number 10. Outstanding work from Nane Akara, who stayed in the fight.
Yes, you can see the pressure coming in from Tenukanana Akara, and once the ball was charged down, there was no Kazakh player getting back to save the day for them as he dots down, and Sri Lanka extend their lead further.
Yes, if you can go a couple of frames back, you'd have to look at the brilliant work done by Tarinder Chaturanga as well. Rushed off that line out to apply the pressure, created that first breakdown, and from then on, the Kazakhs were continuously on the back foot. And that just enabled Tarinder and Nane Akara to apply pressure for Sri Lanka's third try. So Sri Lanka running away with a 15 points to nil lead with the conversion to come. And I don't think the coaching staff could have asked for a better start.
This time around, you can hear the crowd go wild as the flags go up, and Sri Lanka extend their lead further off the boot of Tarinder Ratwatha as he converts the try. And that you can say, as Sri Lanka fans, it was a good 10 minutes for Sri Lanka as they gain 17 points due to the yellow card for the Kazakh hooker.
Yes, it has been a devastating time for Kazakhstan. Akiyat Imam knew exactly what the problem was when he went off to the sin bin. But Sri Lanka have managed to really convert that numerical advantage into a truckload of points.
Inside.
They need to make sure that they don't give it all away. Here's Saridu Chaturanga, who was so good in defense a few minutes ago.
Let him go. No.
Jansen. Ratwatha. Here's a nice flat ball to Sachit Silva. Lovely little short ball to Dina Lekanayaka. Zubair Dore unfortunately in front of the man, and now he needs to step. Oh dear. There's a forward pass called. We'll have to look at that one again. But I assure you that Zubair Dore will be shaking his head.
Thank you very much.
As well, the intent shown very clearly by the Sri Lankans. You can just see the rising confidence of the Sri Lankan backs running from their own 22, finding gaps in the Kazakhstan defense.
That would be a good replay to see, Shanaka, as we see Akash dropping off a lovely ball to Dina Lekanayaka. He gives it back to Dore. And well, was that pass forward? That's quite questionable. But that time around, the call goes in favor of Kazakhstan as the hooker makes his way back, and the number 5 as well.
They've been brilliant so far, okay?
Imam is back, as is Timoshin.
Crouch!
Belashov goes back. He'll be back again, I'm sure, later on in the game. But Kazakhstan very lucky that that wasn't a spectacular try for Sri Lanka.
No, let him go.
Megamadov, he acts as scrum half this time from the base. It's an early tackle from Heshan Jansen. You can hear Vasilov complaining.
Anthony. Captain. Okay. I'm going to give the same warning to you as I gave to them now. We're getting too many penalties. That was a blatant offside. You need to get the discipline message across. Yeah, discipline needs to improve. Tackling without the ball too. 9.
Too many penalties, says the referee, as he requests the Sri Lanka captain to convey the message to his lads, as discipline needs to be under wraps, because if not, he might probably see the next man going to the bin from Sri Lanka.
Nice Zibaev with a good touch finder. Interesting call there, Heshan Jansen.
Let's have you on the line.
Chased. Not sure where the offside came from because the scrum was over, but he definitely did tackle the man without the ball. Daulat Akimbekov.
Okay, back you go, 10.
Can't catch a break today, the experienced fly half. And Sri Lanka have done well to keep the ball out of the hands of Megamadov, the devastating Kazakh number 8 captain. They'll try to give it to him right now though, as big Adam Gadabashov takes it forward in the middle. Lukmanov. Here's Akimbekov, runs behind the man. No obstruction, says the referee.
Use Alex.
Lukmanov again, and here's a nice angle from Imam. Anxious to redeem himself after his stint in the sin bin. Nice pressure from Akash Madhushankar on his opposite number.
Tackle! Let go, green,
Lima
green. Okay, fine.
timed his tackle perfectly. Here's Timoshin.
Use.
Slow ball for Kazakhstan, and not much that Akimbekov can do with it.
No.
He runs over the top of Sohiri Anthony, the Sri Lankan captain. Alexei Lukmanov. Good tackle that time by Tarindu Chaturanga again. And that's Megamadov, who's knocked the ball on.
Time off.
You can see the early pressure and going behind on the scoreboard seems to be telling on the Kazakh players, and their captain on that occasion losing a bit of cool.
Yeah, frustration creeping into the Kazakhs ranks. It's just important for Sri Lanka to just maintain their cool, isn't it? They've done the hard work thus far. Just got to continue playing the way they play without letting emotions get in the way.
We've got a man down here. You okay?
So referee just checking with his assistant JP Clements as to the legality of that tackle previously. We saw a player getting lifted up in the air, but Tarindu Chaturanga was so low to the ground that both the referee and assistant deemed that there was no foul play.
Yes, this is a replay there. You can see Tarindu Chaturanga, he went extremely low, and there was the knock on by the skipper from Kazakhstan. And after this is where he lost his cool and went to take on Lasindu Ishan.
It's the good thing about that tackle was he got both hands, he got his arms and his hands into the tackle. It was not shoulder alone. So it's good technique by the Sri Lanka open side flanker.
Time back on.
So a big call by coach Ida Abdradzakov to take out his very experienced number 10. Daulat Akimbekov is off for tactical reasons, so we won't see him in this game again. And he's saying that he hasn't had the best game, Abdullah, since we started, and the coach saying he wants to cut his losses.
That's right. I mean, the Sri Lanka third row can take a bit of credit for that as well. They've applied a lot of pressure on the Kazakhstan fly half, and also I think the fact that he had to continuously play the game on the back foot didn't quite suit his style of play. So it'll be interesting to see if there'll be a change in tactics from the Kazakhstan team from this point onwards.
It's pretty clear that this young Sri Lankan front row have managed to hold their own so far. Can they keep doing so in the last 10 minutes of the half?
Yes,
Litvinov, that's really good scrum by Sri Lanka. Lasindu Ishan off the back. And Dinala Nekanayaka manages to get the ball away to Akash Madhushankar. Tarinder Ratwat, does he need to pass? No, he doesn't. That's a beautiful try off first phase from Sri Lanka. Brilliant handling, brilliant offloading. Lasindu Ishan, Akash Madhushankar, some outstanding short passing. It looks easy, but that's when you know it's not.
Great bit of play there by Sri Lanka, and finished off by Tarinder Ratwat. You can see they decided that they are going to run off the scrum, and straight away Jansen giving it to Dinala Ekanayake. He makes a half break, and then Akash, he makes a break, gets the offload away to Tarinder Ratwat. He looked to get the offload away, but did not need to do so because he was on the try line, and dotted down for Sri Lanka's fourth try, and now a chance to make it 24 from beside the post.
Well, that was an outstanding try. Really good technique from all the players involved. Heshan Jansen feigned long before he went short, and easily knocked over by the try scorer himself. At his points tally to 9 for the game so far. Somebody screaming inside him. Here's Lasindu Ishan, draws the number 7, and that's a lovely ball to Dinala Ekanayake. Picked up brilliantly by Akash Madhushankar behind him. gets his ball free there and manages to give that one-handed offload to Ratwatta. Looks for support, doesn't need it, and gets dragged over the line.
Could have seen, Shanaka, that the Kazakh skipper was trying to go for the intercept, but he bought the dummy all the way.
Yes, it was really good sleight of hand from Heshan Jansen, and that's good ball movement, a good presence of mind for Murshid Zubair there to put this ball long.
Inside.
And Kazakhstan have nothing to do but return the favor. And that ball just stops a few inches short of the dead ball line, and Ratwatta opts to play some aerial ping pong. They won't mind this at 24-0 up on the scoreboard, but Kazakhstan will need to run it all the way back. Here's Natsibayev.
Outside.
Oh, that's a brilliant kick.
Outside, happy.
An outstanding kick by Natsibayev.
Bounce first.
And it's 50-22. It's a brilliant bit of work from the fullback.
Bounce into the 22.
Both teams a bit casual.
It bounced into the 22.
In that kick fest, which we just witnessed. Eventually, the judgment by Lasinda Karunatilaka resulting in a line out for Kazakhstan.
Pinpoint accurate kick, you could say, and a bit of fatigue too creeping in after 33 minutes of bash in rugby.
It's been played at an amazing pace, but Adisha Biratunga does brilliantly there again. Pulasi Dasanayaka
take it back.
Comes through and takes that ball forward, and Tenuka Naanayakara will find space behind Natsibayev. Going back that time was Vasilov, who will look to smash his way through.
No, Green, no!
Ravin De Silva asked to leave it, and he does. Akash Madhushankar now. Lovely ball to Megamadov, but he's brought down by Sachit Silva, who hasn't done a lot in this game, but the little he's done well. Again, the line speed is great from Pulasi Dasanayaka.
No, didn't change line, not in a million years. Backwards. Again, backwards.
Still bouncing, Ravin De Silva. And that time it's knocked on. Referee decides there's no advantage ensuing for Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Yes, Lasindu, seeing that there was no one behind that line of defense, deciding to kick ahead.
Keep an eye on your entry.
Fortunately, the bounce not going Sri Lanka's way, but the Kazakhs once again find themselves in their own 25.
The first was by you, so it's a scrum white, okay?
Good work by Lasindu at the point of collision, showing his versatility as a number 8. Good vision. Fortunately, the bounce of the ball not going his way.
Okay, when under pressure, you take.
Sri Lankan team.
Crouch.
See, Tenuka Naanayakara has moved into the number 8 position, and Lasindu Ishan is in the first receiver position for this defensive scrum.
So a big switcheroo in the defensive line there.
Okay? Just be ready and bound. I know you won't take just okay?
Because Megamadov has shown a proclivity to coming off the back of the scrum and running at the fly half into that 9-10 or 10-12 channel. And then Naanayakara has been moved away from the line of fire. And the big tank, Lasindu Karunatilaka, has been asked to mind his opposite number.
Stay, 9, balls out.
Here's Megamadov. Beautiful work from Taridu Chaturanga to stop him, and even better for Lasindu Ishan to bring him down behind the gain line. That's some real gutsy work by the smaller Sri Lankan forwards. Dore, beautifully taken. Goes for the counter attack. Here's Heshan Jansen, looks a little bit blindside. Puts the kick over the top for Dinale Ekanaika. Can Ekanaika get there? Can the bounce support him? Yes, it does. James Fairbairn says it's a try.
You bet he can, Shanaka, get there. Lovely bit of play there by Heshan Jansen. Spotted the blind side that there was no player behind, and just dropped a bit of a chip kick over the defensive line. And Dinale Ekanaika, the beneficiary, running on and dotting down.
Yeah, brilliant stuff again. Wonderful vision by Jansen this time.
We've got your guys running into somebody.
Sure, the call came from someone that has no one at the back. probably from Ekanayaka himself. Brilliant work by the Sri Lanka 9-14 combination to further extend this lead. Sri Lanka now sitting pretty, 29 points to nil. Just about 4 minutes remaining in this half. I don't think any Sri Lankan would have in their wildest of dreams expected this kind of scoreline going into half-time.
Abdullah, Sri Lanka sitting pretty on 29 points to nil.
And I must say I did perhaps tell Romario while we were walking across the ground that we might see something like this, but I never thought that it's going to be a 29-0 gap. Make that a 31-0 gap at half-time. If Sri Lanka can't add to their score. But what a brilliant bit of work by the two Kandy lads, combining telepathically almost with that little chip kick. The chip kick has worked so well for Sri Lanka. It's obviously something they've practiced, and Radvatha adds the extras. Eyes at the back of his head, Heshan Jansen. Dinal Ekanayaka knew exactly what was coming. And it was interesting, Abdullah, in back play. Referee Fairbairn saying to the Sri Lanka captain that he wants the Sri Lankan players to stop play acting. Doesn't want them running into people and falling over. That's the wrong sport for that. Sachit Silva grabs it on the second attempt and manages to put it into touch. It's been safe today, Sachit. Preferred in place of Sudaraka Dikkumbura. And has shown that it's been an on-form selection.
Great piece of selection there by Nilufer and coach Sanat Martis. Spotting that Sachit Silva could bring a bit of speed, and he's been quite safe as well.
Ivanov, in the absence of Arnasin, is the go-to man at the line-out.
No.
And still needing to spark something from fly half. Jalil Muradov is the man who has been given that task. And Megamadov running into Dinal Ekanayaka, but some brave defense from the Sri Lankan outside backs. Here's Gadabashov. Plenty of carrying from him. Lovely low chop tackle from Timoshin. Fairbairn does well to say that the player is trapped and not trying to block the ball. Brilliant tackle again by Sachit Silva.
No, 6. Well done.
Laima had absolutely nowhere to go. Driving Kazakhstan back behind the gain line. Sri Lanka's defense and line speed has been brilliant today. And here's Tarindu Chaturanga again. Penukananiakkara hairs after it, makes the tackle. Lashindu Vishan. There's been 2 knock-ons there.
2 knocks. First by White.
Terrific defensive work by the Sri Lankan team. It's just that their alignment and understanding is they haven't rushed when they don't need to. Whenever they felt they need to just hold their fort, they have done so. Rushed when they feel they have need to. I think their defensive read in this first half has been absolutely spot on. And that's one of the main reasons why you find that big 0 next to the Kazakhstan team's name.
It's a communication, really, Abdullah. It's been really good. The guard has been giving information outside, and it's the second and third defenders who are really making the decision whether to shoot or whether not to shoot, and they know they've got cover behind them. So it's really organized defense.
Yes. Absolutely, and when you defend like that, you will build points for yourself as well. And I think over this 31 points, we have seen some wonderful back play by the Sri Lankans. But a lot of that could be attributed to the wonderful defensive work by the Sri Lankan team as well.
So this will be the last play of the half. Sri Lanka 31-0 up. And no one would really have expected such a scoreline. Certainly not Kazakhstan. What do they do at halftime? They really have to throw caution to the winds. They started off brilliantly, but just haven't been able to hold on to the ball, have some security. As Lashindu Vishan will hold on to this one, and Penukananiakkara will knock it into touch and say thanks very much. We've had a good first half. We'll need a drink.
What a half, what a showing by Sri Lanka. They have absolutely demolished Kazakhstan, and I'm sure no one would have expected that type of scoreline at halftime. Sri Lanka leading 31 points to nil, as you can see the big screen there, as the youngsters go in for a well-earned rest, you could say, at halftime, but there is no time to rest, as the second half will be coming soon, and I'm sure Kazakhstan will be coming all guns blazing, because they know that they have just 40 minutes more to get back at Sri Lanka.
Well, I did say earlier, Romario, that this is a real rivalry in this Asian Division 1 segment. Kazakhstan and Sri Lanka's rivalry go way back, and this is probably the most comprehensive performance that Sri Lanka have put in against a Kazakhstani team. And usually it's home and away. Kazakhstan wins in Kazakhstan, Sri Lanka win here. But this really has been an emphatic performance by a very, very young Sri Lankan team.
Yes, and you can see the highlights of the first half. Both teams came all guns blazing. Kazakhstan kicked off the game, and Sri Lanka were a bit shaky off the first restart, giving away a penalty. Kazakhstan did not take the points, and from then on it has been a Sri Lankan show, as Tarinder Ratwat set up Dore for the first try of the game. A lovely grabber kick sending through the fullback. From then on it was the forwards of Sri Lanka who had an advantage, as the Kazakh hooker was sent into the bin. Can see the next try coming off. Some great work from Dore. He committed the last two men and dropped off a short ball, as Adish Veeratunga scored the second try for Sri Lanka. Both the conversions weren't successful, but the third try was pretty much a gift for Tenuka Nanakara. He charged down the clearance, scored the try. Tarinder Ratwat was on target this time. And the fourth try was a lovely set play from the scrum first phase play, as Tarinder Ratwat was at hand to collect the lovely offload from the single-handed offload from Akash to dot down for Sri Lanka. He added the extras from his fourth conversion, and then the fifth and final try in the first half for Sri Lanka was scored by Dina Lekanayaka, chasing down a lovely chip kick from Heshan Jansen. Tarinder Ratwat made no mistake from the far touchline, and Sri Lanka goes into the break with a commanding 31 points lead. We will go in for a quick commercial break, and on the other side be back with second half action.
Energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
සූර්ය ශක්තියෙන් නොමිලේ වගාබිමට අවශ්‍ය ජල සැපයුම ලබා ගන්න. දැන්ම Deep Tech Solar Water Pumping System එකකට මාරු වෙන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
දැන් ඩීප් ටෙක් සෝලා වෙතින් වගාබිමට අවශ්‍ය සූර්ය ජල පොම්ප පද්ධති සහ නිවසට අවශ්‍ය ඔන් ග්‍රිඩ් සූර්ය බල පද්ධති රැසක් ඩීප් ටෙක් වෙතින්. වැඩි විස්තර සඳහා අමතන්න 077 077 03.
energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
සූර්ය ශක්තියෙන් නොමිලේ වගාබිමට අවශ්‍ය ජල සැපයුම ලබා ගන්න. දැන්ම ඩීප් ටෙක් සෝලා වෝටර් පම්පින් සිස්ටම් එකකට මාරු වෙන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
දැන් ඩීප්ටෙක් සෝලා වෙතින් බගාපිමට අවශ්‍ය සූර්ය ජලපොම්ප පද්ධති සහ නිවසට අවශ්‍ය ඔන්-ග්‍රිඩ් සූර්ය බල පද්ධති රැසක් ඩීප්ටෙක් වෙතින්. වැඩි විස්තර සඳහා අමතන්න 077 000 77
Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
මටත් කොකිස් සහ රට ඉන්දිකේක් දෙකම පුළුවන්. අමාරු ප්‍රශ්නයක්.
ලේසි නෑ.
ගොඩක් අමාරුයි.
අවුරුදු කුමාරයාට යන්න ලෑස්ති?
අවුරුදු කුමාරයාට යන්න පුළුවන්.
මෙයා කාත් එක්කද කිරි කන්න?
අනිවාර්යෙන් අපේ කෝඩිනේටර් අමාෂත් එක තමයි.
උඩින් ඉන්න අපේ බොස්.
කිරි කෑම වගේ කැමති නැද්ද?
කිරි කන්න පුළුවන්.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
Is everybody ready to race? We're gonna come out winners even if we don't come out with $1 million check.
This kid didn't leave me once.
Stop. Go!
Good job. You got it, you got it.
Life's all about just adventures and new people you meet.
I'm not quitting and neither is he.
You got this, baby. Let's go.
The Amazing Race. New season. Only on AXN.
දැන් ඩීප්ටෙක් සෝලා වෙතින් බගාපිමට අවශ්‍ය සූර්ය ජලපොම්ප පද්ධති සහ නිවසට අවශ්‍ය ඔන්-ග්‍රිඩ් සූර්ය බල පද්ධති රැසක් ඩීප්ටෙක් වෙතින්. වැඩි විස්තර සඳහා අමතන්න 077 000
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride.
That cliche is lonely at the top.
Yes, I know. Tell us what really happened. Over time, this job became my definition. If I quit, I don't know who I'd be. The crime wave isn't caused by this influx.
All these people, there's got to be something.
The current system is a revolving door for criminals. That's the truth.
You operate like I work for you.
All in a day's work.
Blue Bloods. New season. On AXN.
සූර්ය ශක්තියෙන් නොමිලේ වගාබිමට අවශ්‍ය ජල සැපයුම ලබා ගන්න. දැන්ම ඩීප් ටෙක් සෝලා වෝටර් පම්පින් සිස්ටම් එකකට මාරු වෙන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
දැන් ඩීප්ටෙක් සෝලා වෙතින් බගාපිමට අවශ්‍ය සූර්ය ජලපොම්ප පද්ධති සහ නිවසට අවශ්‍ය ඔන්-ග්‍රිඩ් සූර්ය බල පද්ධති රැසක් ඩීප්ටෙක් වෙතින්. වැඩි විස්තර සඳහා අමතන්න 077 000
Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එක්කට හොඳම ක්‍රමේ තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Real energy for real life. Ride, an energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
right. 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 Studies ikai jobs deka tuna karanda.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
Let's get into it.
This is Hits Now, where talents are discovered and superstars are born.
I'm very proud to have you on my team.
Where you can solve crimes and fight fires.
Must be nice.
Laugh with the family and many others. Play games and prove you're better. All the latest hits, all the time, all in one place.
I'm starstruck right now.
Hits Now.
We're back live in this Asia Rugby Championship Men's Division 1 match between Sri Lanka and Kazakhstan. It's a 31-0 lead to the home team at half-time, and Kazakhstan have a mountain to climb. And I'm sure their coach, Ilda Racecourse,
Take him back.
would have really had a go at his team, who have been a shade of the team that played against Qatar. They started off brilliantly with a few frantic sessions of play.
Play on, he knocks
And
it back.
Timoshin now benefits from the ricochet from his captain, Megamadov, who has been largely anonymous in this game so far.
Well done.
Makes the tackle. And here's Litvinov, the big front rower, but he knocks the ball on, and Ratwata now has the ball for Heshan Jansen. Lovely inside switch. The familiar voice of Heshan Jansen screaming in his left ear, and Tarinder Ratwata barely needs to turn his head to find his halfback. And up in Nittawala, there must be some very proud fans.
They must be jumping in the aisles up in Nittawala as well as here at Racecourse, as the combinations seem to be clicking, and they are clicking handsomely as Sri Lanka are starting from where they left off in this second half. Heshan Jansen heard the call, rather Tarinder Ratwata heard the call of Heshan Jansen coming in, and he just turns and drops it off, and he goes under the post, and the highlight dive to round off the lovely try.
A wonderful vision again by Ratwata, just to have the composure to know where his supporting players were. The obvious choice was to spread it out to his right hand side, but some good communication by Jansen, providing Sri Lanka with the first score within the first couple of minutes. So just the start Sri Lanka would want, and let's just hope they put on a show for us, keep the intensity up. And again, it's just that defensive effort, isn't it, Shanaga? It's just leading to turnover ball, not letting Kazakhstan get over the gain line, and an unforced error and a yawning gap inside. Wonderfully taken by Jansen to further extend this lead.
It's the defense of Tarinder Chaturanga again that forced that knock-on from the big Grigory Litvinov. And Tarinder Chaturanga is maybe about Litvinov's knee high.
Backwards play.
It's gone backwards, much to Chaturanga's relief, and Lasimir Dishan will now run at Belashov. Here's Heshan Jansen. Ratwata in at first receive, a lovely flat ball to Dinale Kanayaka from Zubair Dore. Good ball protection from the Sri Lankan backs, who are rucking pretty well in this game. Nice swift short passing, and Janidu Fernando gets a chance to pump his legs. Gadabashov, his opposite number, holds him up, and it's quick ball again for the Sri Lankan captain Sohiru Anthony. Ball goes forward off the floor, and Kazakhstan will have an opportunity.
Good call, mate. Thanks. Thank you.
Yes, Coach Martis probably signaling that that ball should have gone out wide a bit earlier.
He was banging line, so let's trust him.
But, he can be pretty pleased with the way the team has done thus far. Very appreciative crowd here at the Racecourse grounds in Colombo. Stadiums are pretty much packed to capacity, and the Tuskers have definitely put on a show for the ages.
Fine.
Watch for Megamadov off the back of this scrum again. Lasindu Ishan has moved to the blind side, and Tenukananekar is packing down at number 8.
Your second rows. Okay? You need to wait. Putting
Also,
up pressure.
Shanaka,
Second is coming from the back of the scrum.
Just-
Wait. Okay?
Just a quick
Reset.
update. Hiranta has made his way into the center position with Akash has been replaced by Hiranta.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Stay nice.
Here's Megamadov. Lovely work, but outstanding defense from Dinale Kanaika. Can't turn it into attack, but the young Kingswoodian has flown up and stopped that 8-9-14 move in its tracks.
White 4. Substitution. White 4.
Wonderful read by Ekanaika coming off his wing. And again applying this pressure. The defensive effort of the Sri Lankan team cannot be underestimated.
I'm not one to ask for tackles on halfbacks, Abdullah, but if we can see that tackle by Lasindu Ishan on Alexei Lukmanov again. Shipistin has now come in, and here's Imam
Tackle.
thundering through the midfield of Sri Lanka.
Penalty advantage. Green 1 offside.
Dinale Kanaika has to go back.
Here. Here. Okay.
And Johnny the
One
Fernando
green,
has been deemed offside.
Thanks, JP. Thanks, JP. 1.
I have to
Timeout,
say,
waiting
James
for a ball.
Fairbairn's communication has been absolutely
Russell, what's the
excellent
call?
today.
What's the call?
Romario, he's managed the play really well.
Time back on.
And we have to give him his due credit for the fact that this game has been so entertaining. He's let things go unless they have not made a material impact to the game. And the players have supported him.
It's all about him just talking to the players, telling him what telling them what he requires and what he needs from the players. And as you rightly said, Shanaka, if there was no material impact on play, he just lets play go on, and I think that has helped Sri Lanka as well, because Sri Lanka has been able to play at a pace which has left Kazakhstan behind.
Well, that was that tackle from Karunatilaka on Lukmanov. Here's Imam again, busting straight through the middle. He's made some ground today. Stepping in is Nazibayev. Lukmanov is caught in possession.
Balls out, play on.
And now Vasilov is forced to act as scrum half.
No, well done. Use.
Hiranta Pereira, who's on the field in place of Akash Madhushankar, gets out of the way. Here's now once again a brilliant tackle that time. Advantage over is the call, and Adisha Veeratunga is herring after this. Manages to pick it up as well.
All gone backwards.
And that's great work, but looks like Vasilov is in the right place at the right time. And Ratwatta will be forced to knock this one on. And he's lucky that referee Fairbairn doesn't award a penalty. Yes, he does award a penalty now.
10 only, yeah. Time's off.
Tarinda was, I think, just taking a bit of a knock and recovering from that when this happened.
Getting attention, but it will be a penalty again.
Again, that rush defense.
Deliberate knock on into touch. 10 only, but
That initial hit came from Tarinda, but he seemed to be worse off for it. Adisha herring down on that loose ball.
okay. Time back on.
I'm surprised Adisha didn't fall down on that ball to just gather it for himself. We saw Martis and Leuke exchanging a word and a smile, which is something we don't see from either of them during games.
Let's have you on the
But
22.
this 38-0 performance would have delighted them no end.
Something of a collector's item, you could say, Shanaka. But Sri Lanka did some good work in that previous passage of play. Unfortunately for Tarinda Ratwatta, he couldn't just hold on to the ball. And now everything seems to be crumbling down for Kazakhstan.
Scrum called.
Adam Gadabashov
Line out wasn't
is
straight.
forced to throw in. And that throw-in is not a good one, to say the least. Looks like Kazakhstan, after that initial salvo, Abdullah completely rattled.
Yeah, that's right. They've just lost the plot completely, you'd have to say.
It's inside the 22 line.
Sure what the Kazakh hooker was complaining about.
Inside the 22, yeah. It's right on the 22.
Igor Kromov at number 2, having to reach well inside his inside arm to collect that ball.
Bind!
And will it be Karunatilaka's turn now to go off the back of this scrum?
We've had good scrums.
An area of the game most Sri Lankans were pretty worried about was the set piece.
Let's go back to what we had previously.
Whether the Kazakhstan 8 will dominate it at scrum time, but it just hasn't been the case, isn't it? I think that initial onslaught within those first few minutes have completely taken the wind out of the sails of the Kazakhstan 8.
Crouch!
Heshan Jansen has had a brilliant game, and that will put the pressure obviously on Kavindu de Costa to show that he would like his place back as the number 1 choice scrum half for Sri Lanka. Lovely ball again to Dina Lekanayaka, who steps back into the field of play and leaves a flailing Megamadov in his wake. And that ball unfortunately goes forward. Just can't hang on to it. The sympathetic word from James Fairbairn saying, unlucky mate.
Unlucky indeed. Some great enterprise shown by Sri Lanka, as we see the Kazakh skipper just trying to make a tackle, but his step all ends up there by Dina Lekanayaka.
Looked like a Tottenham goalkeeper watching things going past him. Hiranta Pereira will want to show that he would like to be considered for a starting position as well, I'm sure. Lovely scrum by Sri Lanka, really pushing Kazakhstan backwards, and that, I have to say, is not something any of us thought we'll see. Adisa Viratunga playing with some real ferocity now. Shipistin, who's come onto the park, making an important run, and you can see Sri Lanka just spoiling well. Janidu Fernando knowing exactly when to put that little push in. And Coach Leuke trying very hard to keep from showing that emotion of elation I'm sure he's having.
Yes, what Sri Lanka have done really well is they've been winning the gain line, isn't it, in this game. Kazakhstan haven't been able to get any front football whatsoever, and their forwards have continuously been forced to play on the back foot, which is never easy.
Changes being made. Venura Kodagoda coming in for Sri Lanka, and so is Shashika Fernando. Venura replacing Pulasti, and Shashika replacing Lairu Tilakaratne replacing Tarindu Chaturanga. Chaturanga has had a sublime game.
Well, they both have, I think, Romario, even Pulasti Dasanayaka hasn't had to do too much in attack, but in defense he has really swarmed up and cut down the space near the breakdown and has made some very important chop tackles along with Tarindu Chaturanga. Early drive from Charit Silva and Janidu Fernando. So Kazakhstan will have the short tap, but it looks like they don't really know what to do with it at this point in time. And Vasilov, who looks like he might have taken over some leadership duties.
Change made at number 9 as well, as Kavindu de Costa replaces Heshan Jansen, who had a great game.
Again, it's coming from your second row. It's coming from you guys. It's coming from your second row.
So 50 minutes in, Coach Martis unleashing the bench and giving his second choice players an opportunity to show why they should be selected ahead of those who were. It's always good to have competition in a squad. Abdullah will talk about that later, as Lukmanov looks to feed the scrum. Megamadov acts as scrum half. Ball is behind the replacement. Muradov. Lukmanov. Here's Kazakhstan with a little bit of intent. Sri Lanka's new combinations taking a bit of time to gel. Adisha Viratunga went through with a little bit too much enthusiasm there, gives away the penalty advantage. And Lukmanov now to Muradov, and a little bit of space now. Finally, can they free the arms? Kazakhstan just not able to get it away to Sherbakov, who's a good finisher. Shipistin still going. Ravin De Silva flying in for that tackle. Lukmanov still looking, but it's slow ball. Kicked through by Vasilov, and it's taken beautifully by Sitov that time, who is ushered into touch by Zubair and Ekenaika, but a penalty was being played.
Quite lucky to go back to the penalty after the kick was made, but the referee says that there was no advantage, and that's why he goes back as the Sri Lanka player was pinned down at that breakdown, and the defenders continued to push the ruck back. That's why the referee had no option but to penalize the tackler for not rolling away fast enough.
Nazibayev trying to buy a few meters towards the touchline. I think the referees' rule that they follow nowadays, Romario, is for a penalty advantage and allow a kick and play the full advantage. But if it's a knock-on advantage or a scrum advantage, if a kick is made, they call advantage over immediately. So because this was a penalty advantage, they're going on a little longer.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. Unfortunately, if you're a Kazakh fan, you're hoping that he could have stayed in the field of play, but was bundled into touch by Dore.
Ivanov, or Timoshin rather, winning that at the front. Ball took an age to come down, but they still managed to win some decent ball for the first time in a long time. Another penalty advantage given away by Sri Lanka. Jalil Muradov. Here's Megamadov. We haven't seen him make any ground really. The Sri Lankans have seen what he did to Qatar and have done their homework on the Kazakh captain. Soiri Anthony making an important tackle there, and Lukmanov
New advantage, offside again.
doesn't give a lot of space.
You're going backwards. You're going backwards, it'll be your penalty. Just here. Time off, just wait. Anthony, captain.
So it might be a bit of a talking to here, because Sri Lanka have given away a few penalties.
Now. I've got a penalty over there for not rolling. We've had 2 penalties, accrued advantage for offside. Okay, get the message across. We need discipline to go back to where it was at the end of the first half. Thank you. Get it across.
So a team warning by James Fairbairn there. And Sri Lanka are probably a little lucky not to see a yellow, because there were continued infringements there.
Okay.
Once again, Nasibayev trying to buy a few yards off the referee, but Fairbairn is alive to it. And Kazakhstan will have an opportunity to get into the opposition 22. One of the rare times in this first 55 minutes.
So I think Kazakhstan will be pretty disappointed by the showing of their 8. Have unable to give any front football to their 3 quarters to work with. Sri Lanka's defense has been terrific, you'd have to say. They've rushed off the line, applied a lot of pressure. Sri Lanka just need to be a little bit careful for the next few minutes, because they are on notice. Another penalty here could result in Sri Lanka finding themselves down to 14 players.
Let me know when complete.
Big round of applause for Janindra Fernando and Charit Silva, Sri Lanka's starting props, as they come off to be replaced by Dushmantha Priyadarshana and Faiz Abdullah.
Use it, 9.
Sri Lanka have managed to turn this ball over. The fresh legs doing the trick for them. Sashik Ashan will need to compete in that line out.
You see, pretty much nothing going the way of Kazakhstan, as the lineouts too now malfunctioning, as quite a few tired legs seem to be out there for them.
So the set piece was where Sri Lanka would have thought they might come off second best, but they have done brilliantly, as Vasilov now goes through a yawning gap Anthony gets across to make an important tackle with Kavinda De Costa. Ball's gone backwards on Megamadov. Megamadov now for the line. Megamadov will score Kazakhstan's first try. Laili Tirakaratna can't stop the marauding Kazakhstan captain. And although he hasn't had a lot of ball, he made that one count.
Yes, it came off broken play as well, isn't it? The ball did not go to hand. Sri Lanka defense rushing up. But with his power and his burst of speed, pretty hard man to stop from that kind of distance. And the Kazakhstan skipper has put his team on the board.
If we can just see how he dotted the ball down there. By the looks of it, he seemed to dot it down on the defender's foot at first, and then he had a go second time.
Won't be the first time a try has been scored on a defender's foot. Oh, that's an interesting one off the upright and the crossbar as Abdurrahman Nazibayev chooses the most difficult route to get the ball over the bar. But it's still a 7-pointer.
Yes, and this is a replay. They are not the best of passers, but collected by the skipper, and goes and dots the ball down, but not the best of angles to see that.
Well, you have to say that it was the drop ball that created that, because two Sri Lankan defenders flew up, Hirusha Netmina and Zubair Dore, and that left the gap open.
You're the captain now. Okay. Let me see your number. Okay, 21. Okay,
Time
back on, please.
has informed James Fairbairn that he is the captain now. Soiri Anthony has gone off after what has been an excellent leadership performance from him, not just in this game, but in this entire tournament so far, bringing this young team together. And now it will be De Costa's chance to see this game out. Kazibekov in the blue scrum cap. Plenty of running in his feet since he's come off the bench. Lukmanov onto the left foot. That's the first time we've seen a box kick from the Kazakhstan scrum half. Megamadov is wrapped up. And real physicality from Lasindu Ishan and Dina Lekanayaka.
Tarinder Ratwat has replaced by Hirusha Sampath, with Mushid Zubair going into 12 and Hirusha going into number 15.
Really gambling there, Coach Sanat Martis. He's given that's a brilliant tackle from Dina Lekanayak, and any youngsters watching, that's how you bring down a much bigger man. You commit, you get there early, and you use good technique. So Coach Sanat Martis really throwing on the youngsters, shuffling positions, and trusting them to see this game out.
Crouch. Bind. Sets. Early, second time, full on penalty.
It's the second time he's won Sri Lanka, and that's why it's a penalty. It's the new front row, just trying to get that hit on a little early. That's where it's all won and lost in the scrum. Whether you can win the hit, as they say in the industry.
You need to wait, okay?
And that's another opportunity now for Kazakhstan. Their last try came off a line out. Can they repeat it? But they've got a few more meters to go this time. You can see on the near side, Faiz Abdullah just engaging a little too early. Good win in the line out from Timoshin that time again. Vasilov. Another penalty coming. So Sri Lanka's discipline is disintegrating very quickly. Megamadov again. Lahiri Tirakaratna makes the tackle. Lukmanov. Berzikov. Still going.
Tackle. You're still under advantage.
Kazibekov.
No, he fell over that.
Lahiri Tirakaratna making a big tackle and Timoshin there. But Sri Lanka will have a yellow card for continued infringements, and you have to say that James Fairbairn has shown some patience, Romario, but that time Sri Lanka left him no option.
His patience ran thin, as the message was given to the skipper that the Sri Lankans need to be more disciplined. But on that occasion, Ravin De Silva just going off his feet and playing the ball.
Number?
As we
Sorry,
see the replay here. Good tackle made.
White 11. White
But Ravin, you can see as he goes off his feet there, he continues to play the ball, and that's what the referee. That's the picture he drew in the referee's mind, and there was no change in his decision.
I have to think Ravin De Silva was a little unlucky there because players coming through behind him pushed him over, but it was his onus to get off and make sure he didn't block the ball. Beautifully done by Adisha Veeratunga, and now Sachit Silva will have a run. Lovely little step and a brilliant offload to his police teammate. Sachit Silva and Lahiru Tilakaratne combining. Abdullah Faiz. Venera Kodakara goes in to protect the ball. Here's Hiranta Pereira putting the little grubber kick through. Looked like that ball might have been touched by Alisha Abdrakov. And the Korean assistant referee doesn't seem to think so. He may have just left it, Abdrakov. Nice little run from Sachit Silva, who's changed the ball, the hand his ball is in. Tilakaratne does well. And again, it's not a good ball for Vasilov. He's had precious little to do today since Daulat Akimbekov went off.
Get out! Well done, good work.
The 12 is so reliant on a good supply from his 10. And Megabadov that time. Lasin Duishan has easily got the better of his opposite number. And Megamadov does not like that. Turned over that time by the Kazakhstani forwards. Holding on for dear life is Lasin Duishan as Shipistin tries to get out of the tackle. And that time Abdrakov is forced to thump it into touch.
The Kazakhstan team just haven't been able to get any front foot ball, any momentum going. Have to credit the Sri Lankan defensive effort as well. They've shut down the Kazakhstan skipper, who they've tried to use out wide as much as possible, but I think the Sri Lankan team have been alert to that threat and have shut down the Kazakhstan skipper whenever he has tried to make a move.
Tilakaratne at the back, but Kodagoda can't find him, and Murshid Zubair playing at 12, is trying to get up there and prevent Kazakhstan from throwing it out wide.
Take him back.
Megamadov, he's not going to think about kicking it.
Lost.
Shipitsin goes in there and clears out well. Timoshin now. The Kazakh forwards realize that they have to throw caution to the winds. Shipitsin again with a big run. Lukmanov. No space opening out for Sri Lanka, for the Kazakhstanis here. Timoshin again. Plenty of ball carrying in the second half from the Kazakh second rower. And
just a little eager. You've got to go through the...
That time it's Sashika Ashan who's told that he has to come through the gate, not over the fence. Natsibayev to put Kazakhstan in Sri Lanka territory. Maybe score their second try of the game. Sri Lanka would have set themselves a target, and I don't think even coach Sanath Martis Abdullah would have set them a nil target, because this is a big Kazakhstan team. It's an experienced Kazakhstan team. It's an aggressive Kazakhstan team, but they will be happy to restrict them to one try.
Yes, and I'm sure one eye would be on that big 5-0 as well. Just a couple of tries away from it.
Line out over.
Abdullah, I have to say you're being typically Sri Lankan now. You would have taken a 1-point win before the start of this game, and now you're looking for the 50.
Yeah, well, it would be nice, but I think we can be pretty pleased with the way how things have panned out so far. Zubair with a long ranging kick. Kazakhstan will be forced to run back.
Natsibayev making a brilliant run that time, takes it all the way up to the 40-meter mark. Here it is coming quickly for Laimar.
Use it, please. Use it.
Vasilov has been forced to go into number 12 a lot, and here's Timoshin, who's been full of running in the last maybe 10 minutes or so. Muradov fighting his way a few meters. Vasilov now again puts the kick through, and Hirusha Sampat does really well in the face of this onrushing Kazakhstan chasers.
Great passage of play there by Kazakhstan. They are still stepping on the accelerator, even though they are not getting any reaping any rewards for the pressure that they are putting.
Line out over. There, line out.
Line out won by Kazakhstan, but they give away a penalty. They've knocked the ball on and played from an offside position. Even the Sri Lankan players feeling the humidity, even though we're under lights here. It's been a muggy day here in Colombo, but we have to be very grateful that the clouds have stayed away and the heavens haven't opened up. Murshid Zubair entrusted the task of finding touch in the absence of Rathwata, who's been given a well-deserved rest. Venuda Kodakota gets pickpocketed at line-out time again, but Sasik Ashan does brilliantly to find the young hooker.
No. He was onside. You've knocked it on.
Knocked forward is the call, although all of the Sri Lankan fans thought that the Kazakhstan player came from an offside position, but referee Fairborn has been very consistent today. And he was spot on. Swera was onside when he came through.
Crouch!
Spoiled Kavindu De Costa's chances of a pass.
Set! Stay 9. Use it!
Swera at scrum half. They're forced to run it out of their 22. Kazakhstan. Here's Natsibayev. Superb tackle from Dore. Goes in and tries to disrupt the ball as well, and joined by Sachit Silva. The outside backs not wanting to hang around in this game, really wanting to make their presence felt even in defense. Timoshin. Dushmanta Priyadarshana, we haven't seen much from him with ball in hand, but Sri Lanka have been forced to defend in the last 10 minutes or so. Since the substitutes have come on, their fluency has dropped, but they will want the defense to remain intact. Hirusha Sampat. Does really well to keep that ball in field initially, Laimar, but is then shoved into touch.
Once again, Kazakhstan frustrated by the fact that they are unable to get over the gain line, forced to go to the boot. Nethmina just trying to create something. Fortunately, the Kazakhstan cover defense getting in the way. But nonetheless, they'll get a line out on the 40-meter mark.
Hirusha Nethmina, the second person from his family actually to represent Sri Lanka. Nuan Hettiarachi, his cousin, played fullback for Sri Lanka a few years ago. And definitely would have played Kazakhstan. I'm sure he would have given his young cousin some notes. This is the most relaxed I've seen Coach Sanach Martis look, whether it's a school game, a club game.
Thank you very much.
And to see him looking relaxed at an international game is really a rare occurrence.
Here's the mark.
The humidity and the sweat that was caused has made the ball slip a bit, and I think that too hasn't helped Kazakhs' chances in this game, as Sri Lanka continue to handsomely lead by 31 points with the on the 70-minute mark.
And that time it's an early engagement from Kazakhstan, as Lasindushan takes it quickly and switches the play.
Oh, white, lost, well done.
Dushmanta Priyadarshana access the pivot. Tenukanane with a nice flat ball, but
Away, tackle!
Adisha Veeratunga has
well
to
done.
jump to collect it, and that's some really good work
Taking it legally.
by the combative Kazibekov.
Okay, that's his own man.
He's done really well since he's come onto the park in place of Adam Gadabarshov. So the young front rowers for Kazakhstan, perhaps that's where the future is, with Gadabarshov and Litvinov getting on in their careers. Just can't find the hand Megamadov with that pass.
So that's just another great example of how they've cut off space to the Kazakh captain, not giving him any space whatsoever, realizing that he is the threat. Sajid Silva coming off his line to thwart whatever attack the Kazakh number 8 could pose. They've really done well to keep him quiet, isn't it, Shanaka, today?
I think it has been an inspired selection as well from Coach Martis and Coach Nilufer Ibrahim, who is the backs coach, to pick Sajid Silva and give him a role to do. Abdullah, he's chased the kicks and he's chased the ball around like an absolute terrier. He's flown up in the face and just created doubt in the minds of the Kazakh attackers, and allowed guys like Tarindu Chaturanga and Adisha Veeratunga to complete the tackles. Going a bit laterally, Sri Lanka, but someone needed to straighten it at some point there.
Yeah, that's right, Shanaka. It was all very lateral. Just sense that as the ball went further across, it was always going to be a bit difficult for the fullback joining the line. One eye on the opposition, one eye on the touch line as well, running out of space. So Sri Lanka just taking their foot off the gas a bit here. Safely got this game in the bag, but I'm sure they'd like to finish this game on a high. Kazakhstan with a scrum.
Here's Kazakhstan will need to find some way to get through this organized Sri Lankan defense. Stepping. Sri Lanka's defense gets there quickly. Here's Swera with the dancing feet, trying to find something. It's been knocked on, but Shipitsin cannot salvage it, and Sri Lanka will have another scrum in the 74th minute of this game.
Once again, it's just that defensive effort. Players throwing themselves into tackles, cutting off whatever space that is available to the Kazakhstan, and not giving these big forwards any momentum to run, isn't it, Chanaka? That's been a key factor, cutting off the space in defense.
I think when Kazakhstan had to take Daulat Akimbekov, their experienced fly half, off at about 30 minutes, Abdullah, I think that was when the towel was thrown in. They realized that the Sri Lankan defense is just too aggressive, just too fast, and just too organized for Akimbekov to do anything. So Coach Abdrazakov had to roll the dice, try something. It hasn't really worked for him, but hats off to Kazakhstan for trying something new. And they also have lost a lot of go forward because Sri Lanka have marked captain Medrasul Megamadov so well. Kamindu Costa will look to spark something. Lasindushan will go off the back. Nice hands to Sajid Silva. Sajid Silva will go in and score a try that he absolutely deserves. It was a simple move. It was something straight out of the coaching manual. 8-9, 9-14, and although Sajid Silva is wearing 11 on his back, he was playing in the 14th position. A little stutter step to take him out of the defender's grasp, That's a little goosey there. There's absolutely no catching him for Vasilov. And that's a brilliant first phase try.
Absolutely, Shanaka. You could just sense the Kazakhstan left wing. When he saw Sajid Silva, thought he had it covered, but just that change of pace outfoxed his opposite number to go under the post. Sri Lanka, after a bit of a lull, have further extended their lead. 43 and make that 45 as Netmina makes no mistake with the conversion.
Hirusha Netmina adds to his points tally in the national colours. Lovely little timing of the pass from Kavindu de Costa there. Just that little stutter step, and Vasilov, who's played the 80 minutes at 12, no chance of catching the young police winger. Proud moment for all the junior Josephians I saw in the crowd a little while earlier, celebrating their schoolmates' national try. Vasilov has had everything to do today since Akimbekov went off.
Inside.
Yes, Lasin Devishan, who's had a brilliant game in defense, will try to cap something off by getting some points in attack as well. The top try scorer of the Sri Lankan domestic season from number 8 for the champion CR side. And there's a little bit of a mistake. Can Hirusha get it away? He just can't find Dinal Ekanayaka's hands. And the two Kingswoodians, who would probably have a very good understanding, pat each other on the head. They know how close that was. Hiranta Pereira with a lovely up and under, just beyond being contestable. The Kazakhstani fullback just didn't have what it takes to go up for that ball and just can't find the on-rushing Dinal Ekanayaka. Kazibekov throws into the line out and has to retrieve the ball as well. And Kazakhstan find themselves pinned into this familiar position on the pitch. This is where Sri Lanka have kept them on the ropes in boxing parlance. Kazibekov, lovely little dummy to Timoshin. Now a little bit of space opening up on the blind side for Kazakhstan. Kazibekov throws into the line out, hooks the ball, acts as scrum half, putting his application in to the coaching staff so that he can play in all those positions. Here's Vasilov with the little cross kick, but it's not an accurate one. It's straight out into touch.
Once again, Kazakhstan not getting any front football, forcing the fly half to go to the boot, and this time he's kicked it out on the full. It's been a terrific defensive effort by the Sri Lankans, you'd have to say. It's probably what has led to them dominating the scoreboard as well. Been some wonderful creativity shown by the backs.
How many?
There's the coaching team, Sanat Matis, and the backs coach Nilf Ibrahim. We'll be really pleased the way things have progressed in this final. Nice take by Adisha, but just not being able to hold on to the ball. His arm was pulled down.
Interfering in the air, you can't touch a player. Once he's up in the air, even if you're competing, you can legitimately contest the ball.
1.5.
1.5 minutes is the call from the referee. And Sri Lanka will try in that 1.5 minutes to try to get up to that magical 50-point mark. Murshid Zubair, who started off proceedings with the first try, just to calm the nerves of this Sri Lankan team that started off a little scattered, a little all over the place. Kazakhstan started off brilliantly.
Thank you. Perfect. Very good.
But after a little period where they lacked a little bit of discipline, they've come back into this game to score.
Same maul.
Two tries in this second half.
Let's go, 9. Okay.
De Costa gets it away from to Murshid Zubair. Lovely pass to Hirusha Netmina. Netmina gets the ball away, but once again the Kingswoodians can't combine. They've played so much rugby together in the red jersey, but in the green one just can't seem to find the final pass. But it's been a brilliant performance by these youngsters to put themselves into opportunity scoring positions.
So once again, probably someone needed to straighten that line a bit and preserve a bit of space for Ekanayaka and Netmina.
So once again another ball in their own 22 for Kazakhstan. They'll not die wondering here, but they choose to kick the ball away, knowing that it's the last play of the game. And that is the match. And you can see the jubilant Sri Lankan crowd welcoming international rugby back here to Sri Lanka in 2024. They haven't seen the Tuskers in action since 2019 when they played away. And this young Sri Lankan team has combined so well with a few experienced heads and a very experienced coaching team to get the better of not just India but also Kazakhstan in this Asian Men's Division 1 Rugby Championship final. And they will put themselves in prime position in that group. And Kazakhstan, who have been familiar rivals for Sri Lanka in this grouping, tried their best but came up against a very well organized, very gutsy, very aggressive Sri Lankan team today.
Yes, and they definitely put on a show for all the fans who have turned up. A lot of excitement in the lead up to this tournament, and the Sri Lankan Tuskers have definitely delivered. Wonderful performance by the entire coaching staff as well as the team. And what a way, Shanaka, to welcome back international rugby to these shores. It's been over 4.5 years since we've had a 15, the Tuskers have played in a 15-a-side game, and much longer since they have played a 15-a-side game in Sri Lanka. It's a very young outfit as well, Shanak. We shouldn't lose sight of that. We're talking not just in terms of age, but in terms of experience as well. We're talking just about 4 players who have represented the team at international level previously in 15-a-side rugby. So taking all that into consideration, to come out with 2 very convincing victories is a very, very pleasing effort.
Yes, I think we spoke before the last game that it was just Dushmantha Priyadarshana, Captain Sohiru Anthony, Sudharaka Dikkupura and Kaminda Di Costa, who had represented Sri Lanka before. All the rest of the team are debutants, including players like Tarendra Ratpratha, who've only played Sevens rugby before. Even Adisha Viratunga, who is a mainstay of the Sri Lankan Sevens team, it's his first opportunity to represent Sri Lanka in the 15s competition. And 15s rugby is like the test match format of cricket, isn't it, Abdullah? Everybody wants to play it and everybody wants to play it well. And perhaps there's one performance, and there usually are these one performance games which can really raise the heights of Sri Lankan rugby, to raise the interest, to generate sponsorship coming into this game. And now that they've won emphatically this Asian Men's Division 1 Championship with this young team, as you were saying, sponsors will be interested to try and keep this team together. Sri Lanka Rugby will want to keep this team together and see if they can go all the way to the top of the Asian rankings.
Yes, absolutely. With this performance, things should take off from this point onwards. It's up to the authorities to take the next step. So this is the final score, 45 points to 7. Not something that anyone for that matter would have expected. We were expecting a closely contested affair, but just that blitz between the 10th minute to the 25th minute is Nishanak. I think that pretty much took the game away from Kazakhstan, and from that point of view they never quite recovered.
Yes, it was a tremendous start for Kazakhstan, and it surprised us also, Abdullah, as how quickly they started and the style of rugby they seemed to want to play. They wanted to throw the ball around, and especially after that botched kickoff, Sri Lanka hung their heads a little. They were a little nervous, and that was pretty obvious to all of us watching this game. But just that try, Heshan Jansen trying to do something very quickly, Tarinder Rathpatta spotting the space, Murshid Zubair knowing exactly where to be at the right time, and scoring that first try. That was where the game changed. And then, as you said, in the next 15 minutes or so, things really went Sri Lanka's way to give them some confidence. Here's highlights of the second half. Telukananekara delegated the kicking duties. And here's Rathpatta looking for Heshan Jansen. He saw the gap, burst into it, and then the dive, which probably will get about a 7 out of 10. And here's Kazakhstan's first and only try. Megamadov met Rasul Megamadov, their captain, dragging Lahiri Tilakaratne with him and profiting from that drop ball as the defense was slightly disorganized. And Natsibayev putting that one in off the upright and the post. Here's the second try Sri Lanka scored. Sachit Silva with a lovely little stutter step to go under the posts, and the try assist coming from Kavindu de Costa. Hirusha Netmina puts the final nail in Kazakhstan's coffin, and Vasilov has no option but to thump that ball out into touch and say enough is enough on a humid evening. And congratulations also to the team of officials. I thought James Fairborn was excellent today in encouraging running rugby, and it just goes to show that positive officiating in this game will also help players to put on a spectacle for players.
Absolutely, he just blew the whistle when it needed to be blown, isn't it? He clamped down whenever there was any indiscipline. His communication, I thought, with the players was excellent. So overall, it's been a wonderful tournament. It's been a wonderful week of international rugby. And let's just hope that from this point onwards, we'll see more of international rugby in Sri Lanka, isn't it, Shanaga?
45 points to 7, Sri Lanka running out comfortable winners against Kazakhstan in what is a surprising margin on the scoreboard. 7 tries scored by Sri Lanka, just like they did against India as well, and that means that Sri Lanka will contribute 14 trees to the environment. As you know, this is one of the key statistics of this men's Division 1 tournament, that it's going to be a sustainable tournament, it's going to be a green tournament, and they're planning to, Sri Lanka Rugby is planning to plant 1 tree for every try that is scored. So we'll hear from Romario De Silva, who's got some players with him at ground level.
I've got the winning skipper Suru Anthony with me. Suru, first of all, congratulations on this massive victory against Kazakhstan. What do you think of this performance, and how did you put 45 points on Kazakhstan?
First of all, we want to thank the Kazakhstan team, because they were really tough, and from the beginning we were planned to play this game plan, and so boys execute the game plan really well, so you can see it from the scoreboard.
Kazakhstan came here big, and they were not an easy pushover. What do you think, Suru? How is it feel to win a championship on home soil in front of your home fans?
It's like wearing a national jersey and singing a national anthem in front of our own spectators feels a lot of energy. So before the game, we already won the game from our minds, because we played in front of our home spectators.
Finally, Suru, what do you have to say to these supporters? The stands, as you can see, it's packed. What do you have to say to them?
I want to thank you to all the spectators who came here and all the Sri Lankans who supported us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suru, and all the very best for the future. Thank you very much. That was Suru Anthony, the skipper of Sri Lanka, and now I'll go back to the commentary box.
Thanks very much, Romario, and a jubilant Sri Lankan captain there. Suru Anthony is also not someone who smiles a lot. He lets his playing do the talking, but you could see that he was elated there with the performance of his Sri Lankan team, and why shouldn't he be? It's a very, very young Sri Lankan team, one that will be together for a long time, hopefully. Kazakhstan will have to go home and lick their wounds. 7 tries to 1 they were outscored, as you can see on the screen there. And that's something that they will certainly need to have a look at and see what they need to do to develop a little further to be competitive once again. But it's just one result, and all is not lost. So 45 points to 7. Kazakhstan losing to Sri Lanka at the Racecourse grounds here in Sri Lanka in the Asia Rugby Men's Division 1 Championship. We'll be back for the awards after the break.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
සූර්ය ශක්තියෙන් නොමිලේ වගාබිමට අවශ්‍ය ජල සැපයුම ලබා ගන්න. දැන්ම ඩීප් ටෙක් සෝලා වෝටර් පම්පින් සිස්ටම් එකකට මාරු වෙන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Right, right. Right. Studies, jobs,
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Well, especially to the Sri Lanka team. The Honorable Sports Minister, Mr. Harin Fernando, has just said that Sri Lanka cricket is going to give Sri Lanka Rugby $30,000 for winning this tournament and for the development of rugby. So that's good news for Sri Lanka Rugby. Well done, boys. I would like to now invite the Honorable Minister Harin Fernando and the Vice President Asia Rugby, Mr. Fauzi Kavaja, to hand over the champion trophy to the Sri Lanka winning captain, Suri Anthony. The champions of the Asia Rugby Division 1 tournament. Well, Suri and his team deserve a round of applause. Fantastic achievement. We would like to invite the teams for a photograph as well. Well, there you go. They are the champions, Sri Lanka. The Honorable Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs, Tourism and Lands, Mr. Harin Fernando, for being with us this evening. Thank you, sir. Thank you to the Vice President of Asia Rugby, Mr. Fauzi Kavaja, and the President of SLR, Group Captain Nalin De Silva. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Jubilant
we'll have
scenes
another
here from the
photograph.
Racecourse International Stadium as Sri Lanka walk away with the trophy in this Asia Rugby Men's Division 1 tournament, beating Kazakhstan by a comfortable 45 points to 7. And all the dignitaries who have travelled here from the Asian Rugby Union will be very happy with the quality of rugby that has been displayed in this final, and of course the quality of hosting. I'm sure that Sri Lanka have showed that they are capable of, and perhaps Sri Lanka will be a rugby venue that is sought after in the Asian region for many years to come. Sri Lankan team and their support staff who have done so much work. The youngsters who are playing for the first time in the Sri Lanka jersey will remember this day with a lot of fondness, will remember this experience, which will make them much better rugby players for their clubs. And of course, hopefully for much longer for their country, as Zohiri Anthony lifts aloft the Asian Rugby Men's Division 1 tournament. This is the presentation of signed jerseys to Asia Rugby by the Minister of Sports and of course the sponsors. Sri Lanka running out winners 45 points to 7. This is a match that Sri Lankan rugby fans will watch over and over again. 7 tries. Took a while to get the first one, but once it did, the floodgates open. And Kazakhstan were kept in check by outstanding defense by Tarindu Chaturanga, Adisha Veeratunga, the rest of the forward pack, and also some brilliant decision making from Tarinder Ratpat and excellent support from Murshid Zubair, and of course some superb defense from Dinal Ekanayaka, who scored a try, and Sachin Silva, who also got a deserved try to finish off this game. Thanks a lot for joining us for this coverage wherever you are in the world. It's been our pleasure to bring you this Asian Rugby Men's Division 1 Championship, all 4 games. Congratulations to all 4 teams who have come here: Qatar, India, Kazakhstan, and of course Sri Lanka. We'll see you at the next round. Thanks very much. It's good evening from us here. Abdullah Yusuf, Romario De Silva, Shana Kamarasinghe from ThePapare.com. It's goodbye for now.
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
අමාරු ප්‍රශ්නයක්.
ලේසි නෑ.
ගොඩක් අමාරුයි.
අවුරුදු කුමාරයට යන්න ලෑස්ති?
අවුරුදු කුමාරයට යන්න පුළුවන්.
මෙයා කාත් එක්කද කිරිකන්න?
අනිවාර්යෙන් අපේ කෝඩිනේටර් අමාෂත් එක්ක තමයි.
උඩින් ඉන්න අපේ බොස්.
කිරි කෑම වගේ කැමති නැද්ද?
කිරි කන්න පුළුවන්.
Right. Studies ikai jobs deka tuna karanna.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
Is everybody ready to race? We're gonna come out winners even if we don't come out with $1 million check.
This kid didn't leave me once.
Stop. Go!
Good job. You got it, you got it.
Life's all about just adventures and the new people you meet.
I'm not quitting and neither is he.
You got this, baby. Let's go. The Amazing Race. New season. Only on AXN.
Right. Studies ikai jobs deka tuna karanna.
Real energy for real life. Ride. Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Right. Right. Studies එකයි jobs දෙක තුන කරන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමය තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
That cliche, it's lonely at the top.
Yes, I know.
Tell us what really happened.
Over time, this job became my definition. If I quit, I don't know who I'd be. The crime wave isn't caused by this influx.
All these people, there's got to be something.
The current system is a revolving door for criminals. That's the truth.
You operate like I work for you.
All in a day's work. Blue Bloods, new season on AXN.
Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Right. Right. Studies එකයි jobs දෙක තුන කරන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමය තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Right. Studies එකයි jobs දෙක තුන කරන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
Let's get into it.
This is Hits Now, where talents are discovered and superstars are born.
I'm very proud to have you on my team.
Where you can solve crimes and fight fires.
Must be nice.
Laugh with the family and many others. Play games and prove you're better. All the latest hits, all the time, all in one place.
So starstruck right now.
Hits Now, the best of US TV.
It's time.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමය තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Right. Studies එකයි jobs දෙක තුන කරන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමය තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
මේකාල ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකකට හොඳම ක්‍රමය තමයි සෝලා එකකට යන එක. සෝලා නම් ඩීප් ටෙක් තමයි.
Real energy for real life. Ride. An energy drink that is proudly Sri Lankan. Available in classic red berry and sugar-free variants for just 350 rupees. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Right. Studies එකයි jobs දෙක තුන කරන්න.
Real energy for real life. Ride.